Casanova has also personally committed acts of violence. In addition to his current open robbery charge, which we'll get to later in this video, Casanova has twice been convicted of robbery in the first degree. We covered that in the previous video.
Share this out, y'all.
Very
Make sure y'all
long,
share this
extensive
video
rap
out.
sheet. Just a violent, like a very violent criminal. I know he's engaging and we like him because he's not doing this stuff to us. We as people, rap fans, were able to detach ourselves. Okay, this guy, he's talking about all these things he's done that's true. These violent, debaucherous, degenerate, hurtful, harmful things to other people, but he hasn't done it to me. So, I like him, which is cool. I like him too. During the Tekashi Casanova beef, we covered that Tekashi thing. We was all over that story on this channel. All the people who've been part of this channel since day one, get in the comment section, back me up. I was Team Casanova. 98% of people in hip hop, whether it be YouTube, whether it be bloggers, whether it be radio, whatever, jumped on Tekashi's side. Threw Casanova under the bus, or forgot about him, or just was calling him a sucker because of the incident at the Barclay, which we did. When we got the real footage, we saw that the apes was really putting the pressure on Tekashi and Treyway, and Treyway had to lick some shots to get up out of there in the air because they was about to get bum rushed. That being, nevertheless, I was Team Casanova when 98% of the people in the hip hop world weren't. This is prior to Tekashi telling on all his friends and getting all his friends locked up. So I can understand that y'all didn't know he was going to do that. So he probably seemed like a pretty, nice guy too. Now, it goes on to say, the feds go on to say, in public interviews, Casanova has admitted to stabbing inmates while incarcerated on those robbery charges. You want to guess what public interview that was? What platform that public interview was on? Yup. And listen, I'm not going to blame Vlad for this. I'm not going to do what y'all do. I'm sorry, we do things differently here. I see a lot of you guys don't like it. I read some of the comments. There's plenty of channels on YouTube that's covering this thing. I watch many of those channels. I enjoy their content, whether they cover it the same way I do, whether they cover it a similar way, whether they cover it a way that's far different than I do. I still can enjoy that content and get from it whatever I need to get from it. But here, we cover it a certain way, man. It's not Vlad's fault. Vlad in this interview asked him, so when you went to prison, you didn't calm down. How many people did you cut while you were in prison? Vlad asked him a question. Casanova had the opportunity to say no comment. Had the opportunity to say no comment. How many people did you cut while you were in prison? Vlad asked him a question. Casanova had the opportunity to say no comment. Vlad asked him a question. Casanova had the opportunity to say no comment. Vlad has no power over this guy to make him do something. None. None. Casanova's a grown man, a guy who's been in what they refer to in this interview as gladiator school. How can this little guy, Vlad, somehow make you do something you don't want to do? Vlad goes on to say, did you ever get cut yourself? And Casanova says, yeah, I got cut. In the face? Nah, I caught more. Okay, yeah. So he said he got a small cut. Then Vlad asks, you were giving people $150s, which is a New York slang term for when they slice your face open and it takes 150 stitches, give or take a few, whatever. But generally, the size of those cuts they give the inmates on the face, it was big in Rikers Island back in the day. You gotta see a documentary called "Incarcerated Scar Faces." They talk all about it. But they cut you somewhere on your face with a razor. Usually somebody sneaks up behind you or, catches you slipping and cuts you. And a lot of tough, real gangster guys got them. Like, it's not like something that means you soft. Like, a lot of serious guys got those things. A lot of 5-star generals, first team Hall of Fame gangster thugs in New York got those. $150, okay? So Vlad says, you were giving people $150s and everything else. And Casanova said, yeah, you really want to try to tally it up? I probably like 12. The most I say, 12. So he's saying he stabbed about 12 people while he was in prison. And even though it's prison, you have to understand that that's still illegal to stab somebody. Like, things that go on in prison are still under the jurisdiction of, a law. And even though it's prison, you have to understand that that's still illegal to stab somebody. Like, things that go on in prison are still under the jurisdiction of, a law. It's still wrong.
And most of these dudes, they know this.
You can still be punished for that. Even though
most of these dudes know this, and they openly admit it on platforms that's popular platforms.
Like, things that go on in prison are still under the jurisdiction of, a law. It's still wrong. You can still be punished for that. Even though a lot of things aren't punished because the code of silence and because, the way things are handled, prison politics. But here he is admitting to stabbing 12 people while he was in prison. And furthermore, he goes on to describe it. You just swing. You just swinging. And you're just doing stuff like that. So probably so he basically saying, you're just swinging. So he's describing it. Not only has he said he did it, but now he's describing the actual act of doing it. You just swinging like get in fights and stuff, and when you just know, wouldn't be able to give you a number because it was just so much. It would be tickets on like paperwork on, or really it's more, it's just random. In prison, 3 to 3 to 4, 3 to 4 arm back that I got. But it all started with this question right here. So you go to prison, huh? But you don't calm down. How many people did you cut? You have to understand that the subtitle is a little off. Sometimes they because of the way people pronounce words, because of their accents, because they may speak in broken English, or they may not finish their words, or they may slur their words. It doesn't pick it up, but I just listened to the interview, so I know exactly what they were saying. And it all started with this. This was the opening of that snippet. So, you go to prison, huh? But you don't calm down. How many people did you cut while you were in prison? This brother went on to tell everything. None of this is Vlad's fault at all to me. None. I don't think any of this is Vlad's fault at all. That's a hell of a question. You got a gangster. I wouldn't let you guys on my platform if y'all wasn't going to tell me some real stuff. Get out of here. If I'm, as a black content producer, if I was a black interviewer now, I wouldn't let none of you cats on my show. Y'all go on that show and give up. It's books. Y'all could write books and sell millions of copies or hundreds of thousands of copies to make millions of dollars off these stories y'all give away to Vlad for free. Or for what peanuts he gives you to come on the show if you were established guest. If I was a black interviewer, if I was one, man, y'all ain't coming on my show. It was rough in there, you know what I mean? Like, it was prison, man. That's what it was, prison, man. Things happen. Try to get on my platform and be all vague after you went on his platform and gave him the scoop and broke it down to a bionic compound. I wouldn't even have y'all dudes on my platform. It really ain't no point of having none of these guys on your platform after they go on Vlad. After Vlad debriefs them and and gets them to tell everything, what's left for them to say on your platform? If I was a agent, a book editor or something, or a book agent, and one of these guys came to me to try to get a book contract after they've been on Vlad, I'd be like, no, thank you. You done already told everything on Vlad. No, thank you. I'm good. Don't need no. We know everything. We know your whole life story. What's the point of getting people to read it now? People don't even read books like that anymore anyway. Everybody's brain is on microwave time. So no, there's no book contract for you. You already told everything on Vlad. We just refer us. We just go watch it on Vlad. You stab 12 guys when you're in prison. And I believe them. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, when you look at the indictment, the type of guys he runs with, He runs with a serious, respected crew. And he ran with that crew in prison. And when you do that, those crews have beef with real serious, respected guys. So things happen. People get hurt. And he was a guy that put in a lot of work on the street also. So of course he goes into prison and he's putting in work. I 100% believe him that he stabbed 12 people. He probably stabbed more. Because one thing we haven't seen is a guy from New York come out and say he didn't stab anybody in prison. You had GQ Casanova for a little bit, but then he just disappeared. Like, apparently he got assaulted, something happened to him, he was attacked, and we haven't heard anything about Casanova 2 times from GQ Casanova since then. But if he really didn't stab a bunch of guys in prison, we would have heard about it. New York is a bunch of guys that would just love to be like, man, what? That dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So I 100,000% believe this. Now, back to Vlad. He has every right to ask that question. Vlad could ask you, did you keister any drugs? Did you keister any contraband while you were in there? And if you don't know what keister means, you know, somebody in the chat probably help you. It's a family show. But yeah, it's how they hide certain things. Guys keister knives. Guys keister contraband. You know, to hide it from, you know, the COs. Because these things are legal. They very stiff penalties if you're caught with these things. And they're hard to transport because in prison you're going through constantly being patted down, you're constantly being, you know, going through metal detectors when you go from one area of the prison to the next. So keistering is usually the safest way to go. And that's something that, you know, if Vlad asks the guys about that, he has the right to ask you. Now, if you don't want to answer that, you don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer these questions. But he has every right to ask you that. Because that's his platform. And his platform is about getting the real deal, nitty gritty, to the bottom of it. And I enjoy listening to his interviews because the brothers go on there and they tell everything. They spill all the tea. Okay? Brothers go on Vlad and spill all the tea. I enjoy it. When I go to his channel and I go in the comment section, it's thousands of comments. Other people enjoying it. Thousands of likes. Other people enjoying that content too. Complaining about it. Complaining about the guy asking the questions.
All right, y'all. This is his video. These thoughts and whatever he said in the video is not my opinion. That's his opinion. But he does come up with some good points. I just wanted to bring that out. Something to do with the music industry. We will be back with some more recaps and some reactions coming soon for y'all too. So if y'all got any requests, leave it in the comment section. If you new watching this video, make sure you subscribe. We'll be back at y'all soon. Peace.